What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to something that's happening between the United States and Canada that, to be honest, I had no idea this was even going on. So, this video here actually suggests that because Donald Trump is anti wind generated power, yes, you heard that correctly. He's anti wind generated power because of course he is. For some reason. Who knows? But it sounds like as a consequence, Canada is actually taking advantage of this opportunity for you guys to invest in this and sort of claim it for yourselves in a way, which, sounds great if you're Canada. But I think any American out there should be really, really disturbed by our government's stance on this. It really makes no sense to me. Sounds like we're making a massive mistake and Canada is really capitalizing and benefiting from this. So, kudos to you guys. That makes all the sense in the world for you. But yeah, this really caught my attention because this really kind of disturbed me. So today, I want to learn more about what exactly is going on here. So let's take a look.
Big ugly windmills, they ruin your neighborhood.
President Trump's been tilting at wind power from day one.
They're a joke. They don't work. The wind doesn't blow. Those big windmills are so pathetic and so bad.
Clear.
What? What did he say? No. 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 You gotta be kidding me. You actually have to be kidding me. Is this real life? Is this real? Am I dreaming? What do you do? How do you wake up if you dream? Like open your eyes? Wake up! No. It's real, unfortunately. That's what he has to say? That is the United States official stance on wind power, wind turbines, windmills, that they don't work, which is an interesting thing to say. Yeah, I mean, haven't these things been around for like thousands of years? Tell it to like the peasant from the Middle Ages powering his like farm with the wind. Oh my God. And they're ugly. They're ugly. Guys, we can't have things that are, it's an eyesore, Doesn't it good for the environment, like cheap, good way to harvest electricity, doesn't matter. It's not beautiful. For one thing, I'd actually disagree with that. Like I know I'm being sarcastic a lot here, but I think like windmills and the turbines, I think they are pretty cool looking. Like, you don't have to think they're the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, it's not a work of art, but I think they're kind of cool. Like, I don't think they're ugly, but okay, I need to stop trying to like wrap my head around something Donald Trump said.
The wind doesn't blow. Those big windmills are so pathetic and so bad.
Clear about his intentions.
They killed the birds, they ruined your landscapes.
To gut the industry.
So he has no legitimate argument against the windmills, the wind power. Oh, they kill they kill the birds somehow. Like birds fly into them and get like chopped up into. Oh my God. I mean, perhaps that is sad, but for one thing, I find it very hard to believe that Donald Trump genuinely is concerned for the well-being of the birds. How about the well-being of the citizens of the United States? How about that? Forget the birds. It's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make for the bird. This is so dumb. I didn't expect this, to be honest. And he said they don't work. They're ugly. So no legitimate like criticism.
Especially offshore.
There are windmills all over the place, and they are losers.
The windmills? The windmill is a loser? Like the inanimate object? The windmill itself is a loser? What does that mean? What? It doesn't have feelings. He's bullying a windmill.
We're on the New England coast near Newport, Rhode Island, and 24 kilometers off the coast here is a large wind turbine project nearly finished. One of 5 in development up and down this coast, but twice since August, the U.S. Department of Interior has forced work to stop completely, costing these companies hundreds of millions of dollars and risking workers' jobs. As we're about to show you, this is the center of Donald Trump's war on wind.
This is the most ridiculous thing I didn't even know about this. I want to go back to when I didn't know about this. So this is in Rhode Island, which is very, very close to Canada, obviously. So there's some kind of connection going on here between the United States and Canada. This is like in Rhode Island or the surrounding area. Maybe there's a ton of wind there. Is this like precious wind real estate, perhaps? Or I'm interested to hear more.
I'm sad to say that I think Canada has a big opportunity because of the stain that the Trump administration has left. Our loss will be Canada's gain.
But
Canada has a big opportunity. Okay, I just want to know, like, what is the opportunity? Are we like competing over literally the land that the windmills go on, or like the materials that you use to build them? Or because that's really interesting to me. Like, it's one thing if the United States is doing something actively stupid. That's bad. But it's also interesting that Canada can actually take advantage of this, again, sad for me, sad for us here, but, good for you guys.
first, here in the U.S.
This industry was booming. And there was a pipeline of work that was promised for decades. And it's seemingly almost come to a complete halt.
Harry Anton is with the AFL-CIO in Rhode Island. When the wind projects came to New England, workers trained up for offshore.
The second stop work order was issued days before Christmas. They feel betrayed. They feel like they've been punched in the gut.
Absolutely. Oh my God. If they were like contracted to build these things during Christmas, you like get this big government contract to build windmills, like you'd be over the moon, happy, thinking you have a job, a long project, and then to just be taken away because Donald Trump thinks it's ugly.
Stop work orders were aimed at 5 projects along the Atlantic coast. Revolution Wind, half owned by a Danish company, Ørsted, was 87% complete. The Trump administration claimed the projects pose classified national security issues.
This is so infuriating. This is so bad. I'm glad they dove into like the actual official reasons, because those are always top notch. National security. The windmill is a national security risk. The windmill? That's the official report. Because they couldn't put Donald Trump's actual statement that he thinks they're ugly and don't work. That was too stupid. So they just went with kind of a stupid reason.
Identified by the Department of Defense, in spite of passing years of all previous approvals. In January and February, the companies fought back at the U.S. federal court, and they won all 5 legal challenges.
Good.
What we have seen, I think, in this country, whether it's offshore wind or otherwise, is that litigation is Trump's love language. And we have to learn to speak that language right back to him.
We arranged a call with Rhode Island Democrat Senator Sheldon Whitehouse at his office in Washington.
His whole administration is staffed by stooges of the fossil fuel industry. This wind...
You kind of could have just left it at like stooges. That's a good word. We got to bring that back. Yeah, seriously. So the government, certainly the part of the U.S. government in control of this policy, staffed by Trump yes men, stooges, and he goes on to say that are like in cahoots with the fossil fuel industry, which
power.
You know, like the level of corruption and like you just. Sadly, I think it's something everyone probably assumes exists, and we unfortunately just have to like accept it as a fact of life. But certainly here in the United States, like, and certainly with this administration, like, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Probably make me sick thinking about like the level of corruption in terms of like our government is sabotaging windmills to, focus on creating deals and contracts with fossil fuel, oil, like industries or CEOs that they want to do favors for, or all that stuff. It's really frustrating to hear.
And abundant. And so with all of the funding that the fossil fuel industry has given to Trump, this is kind of payback. Our law.
Oh, that's the actual reason. That's the actual reason. Oh. I mean, maybe it's the other stupid stuff too, like the birds and the ugly towers, but it's really because Donald Trump is friends with like the owners and benefactors of fossil fuel industries, and he's trying to do them a favor and keep them in business. That makes so much more sense to that's definitely got to be correct.
Loss will be Canada's gain.
Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
This is kind of payback. Our loss will be Canada's gain.
Canada's gain.
In a strange twist, the attempted purge here in New England could benefit Canada in the long run, with Nova Scotia's premier pushing for wind power off Canada's east coast.
Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston is already pitching a Wind West megaproject with initially 5 gigawatts of power off the East Coast and potentially 40 in the future.
So Canada, obviously, like, using your intelligence here to correctly identify this is like a good idea. And so this is a region of Canada that's kind of near the Rhode Island, New England area, huh?
Talking it up at an Ocean Tech conference in New York.
Incredible wind speeds.
And signing a memorandum of understanding to collaborate with Massachusetts.
All right, Nova Scotia.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That could be a thing. There's like a collaboration between Nova Scotia and, what would they say, Massachusetts? To develop like these wind farms, wind power? Whoa.
We connected with the Premier at Government House in Halifax.
The interest is through the roof. This is either the best opportunity in the world or one of the best. There's a lot of eyes on Nova Scotia right now.
Wind.
It's frustrating to hear, bit of FOMO, like we're missing out, like on the future. I mean, these have been around a while, but like you said, huge opportunity. I can't imagine anyone in their right mind arguing against. It's like the United States must be one of the only places in the world who don't want to do this. And Canada's scooping up this area and creating. Somehow you're also creating like agreements with individual states.
Wind West could take a decade and cost $40 billion to build. Transmission lines, another $20 billion. The plan would be to export some of the power to the U.S., says the Premier. You can build the turbines out in the ocean. The technology has advanced, but the transmission lines will be extremely expensive. Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah, a combination. The industry will pay. Governments, there's a role for governments. Tax credits, we're having, very encouraging discussions with the federal government.
So Canada is going to proactively build out all these like ocean, specifically ocean wind harvesting turbines and the windmills, and actually in a roundabout way, and some of that might be on U.S. territory by the sound of it, and then you're going to sell us the very electricity that we could have been, generating ourselves.
Back in Rhode Island, Revolution Wind is weeks away from first power, promising lower cost electricity. But the war on wind here does have supporters.
All we're seeing them is taking away trees and taking up space in the ocean. And it's wrong.
What do you think of the president trying to shut them down?
Huh?
Yeah, yeah. Like, it's one of the things I give him a thumbs up on.
Oh, God. I stand corrected. I didn't think anybody in their right mind would actually be against building some wind towers, but there you have it.
The White House warns, with legal appeals pending, the battle is not over yet. But wind power advocates hope fairer winds will ultimately prevail.
Yes!
Well, it's a challenge, and we have to...
You don't even have to be like a big wind power advocate to think this is a good idea. Clearly, Canada knows that, and we're just being incredibly dumb about this.
Manage the maniac in the White House in the interim. There is real benefits being seen in these states, so I think we will still see the development of clean power.
Here and up the Atlantic coast in Canada, too.
Wow, good for Canada. Hopefully we can like follow in your footsteps here. Sounds like you guys like actually create opportunities to do this, whereas we create barriers to cheap, environmentally friendly electricity generation. Who would have thought? Like, it's just, who would have thought with all the madness going on in the world? Here's just another thing. Very interesting. And it's of course interesting to like see the comparison between what Canada is doing and what the U.S. is doing. And I think that kind of speaks for itself. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on this bizarre situation. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canadian things that I haven't heard about or haven't seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.